Fresh out of college and wide-eyed, I spilled the beans to my BFF about my first official grown-up job. I chirped on my day off. We were practically kindergarten sweethearts, stuck together through thick and thin, but college steered us onto different paths. New employee boot camp, huh? Like hazing for suits. She quirked an eyebrow, intrigued. Exactly, I beamed. First thing on the agenda every morning, a company-wide jog. Apparently, it's for stamina building. Her jaw dropped. Seriously, everyone. Seems like it, I shrugged. From newbies like me to second-year veterans, third-timers and oldies get a free pass. But I swear half the company still laces up. The rest? Crossword puzzles and brain teasers their thing. Whoa, that's different, she chuckled, a hint of mischief in her voice. My future self, still a free spirit, definitely skipped that part. Oh, and get this, I leaned in conspiratorially. Our company motto is basically live life to the fullest. Healthy body, hard work, wild times, the whole shebang. So the first 30 minutes are dedicated to getting our minds and bodies revved up. That is unique, she mused, coming from someone who's basically a professional student. A playful grin spread across her face. Sounds like you get to mingle with all sorts of folks, different ages, departments. Like an extended school club, but cooler. I totally dig the vibe, I admitted, then paused, a shadow flickering across my face. Except for one colossal obstacle. One supremely arrogant individual who makes my life, well, let's just say interesting. Thinking of throwing in the towel? She asked, concern etching lines on her forehead. Bingo. See, I knew you lacked a determination, she teased, a knowing glint in her eyes. Picture this, I began, my voice dropping to a dramatic whisper. My manager, let's call her Queen Saya Lot, is on a warpath with a part-timer who dared to miss a few days. Her voice, loud enough for the whole office to hear, drips with venom, cornering the poor soul. This queen, whisper queen by day, sigh tyrant by night, has the power to crush anyone with a single exhale. I mimicked the manager's voice, my tone laced with mock sarcasm. Taking a break, huh? Then vanishes for days, ditches her responsibilities, and now quits. Fancy-free. Just because you're part-time doesn't mean I'll let you off the hook. I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. A shiver ran down my spine. It's beyond passive-aggressive. I shuddered. It's downright terrifying. The last time the part-timer came in, I saw her stiffen, tears threatening to spill. What's wrong? I asked, my heart sinking. Turns out, Queen Sai a lot had laid into her again. The girl was trembling, barely able to speak. It took guts for her to even call. Since the queen has to accept her resignation anyway, why drag it out with more snide remarks? I sighed, a mix of frustration and empathy bubbling within me. Another sigh escaped my lips. It had been a month since I joined this quirky company, and already I'd witnessed the Queen Saya Lot drama twice. It was like a broken record, always the same song. A part-timer dared to miss a few days, and boom, the queen went on a passive-aggressive tirade. Frustrating doesn't even begin to cover it. This girl barely did her job, then dipped out, leaving everyone else hanging. All I was doing was stating the obvious. The queen, also known as Empress Eyebrow Furrow in the office, thanks to her permanently etched frown lines, was apparently irreplaceable. Finding someone new to fill her shoes seemed like an Olympic-level feat. So naturally, it was only fair she find a replacement and train them before swanning off, right? Wrong. The tension crackled in the air as Queen Saya Lot fished for agreement, everyone desperately avoiding eye contact and pretending to be laser-focused on their work. Then, just like that, her icy gaze landed on me. You there, looking troubled, she boomed. Caught off guard, I sputtered. Oh, well. One question, she declared, her voice dripping with fox concern. You get paid, right? So shouldn't you, actually do your job? Feeling the weight of her judgment, I could only manage a meek, yes. Who could argue with that basic principle, especially under her piercing stare? I knew she knew that. And would you say acting selfishly has a place in the workplace? She pressed on, her voice rising. No, absolutely not. Selfishness is the enemy of teamwork, right? I started to explain, but her booming voice drowned me out before I could finish. I was left stewing in silence, regret gnawing at me for not standing up for the crying part-timer earlier. Sorry for all the complaining, I confessed to my friend, feeling drained. I meant to gush about the company, but somehow it turned into a rant. Hey, no worries, she replied warmly. Bottling things up isn't healthy, and let's be honest, arguing with Queen Sai a lot wouldn't end well. You'd be her next target. Power-tripping bosses are the worst. Just keep your head down and stay off her radar, okay? Relief washed over me as I thanked her for listening. Finally, I steered the conversation to the real reason for my call. With my college savings and first paycheck, I think I can swing it. Thinking of taking my grandparents to that resort you raved about. Do you think they'd love it? I asked excitedly. Now that's what I wanted to hear, she exclaimed, a knowing smile spreading across her face. She travels like crazy, so trust me, she knows her stuff. One of the best places I've ever been, she always says. Even my picky grandma loved it. You can't go wrong. A wave of gratitude washed over me. I wanted to make this trip unforgettable for my grandparents, and her reassurance sealed the deal. But just as I was basking in the excitement, Friday afternoon rolled in, bringing a rude awakening. My phone buzzed. It was Queen Sai Alat, summoning me to her desk. With a sigh, I walked over, bracing myself for whatever fresh drama awaited. A mountain of documents landed on my desk with a thud. Sort these by category, analyze them, and have it on my desk by Monday morning, she instructed curtly. And just like that, my weekend getaway plans were put on hold, thanks to the ever-demanding Queen Sai Alat. Suddenly, Queen Sai Alat sported an uncharacteristically bright shade of lipstick and a smug grin that sent shivers down my spine. Before I could even blink, she slammed a mountain of documents onto my desk. Oh, what's this? I stammered, eyes widening at the sheer volume of paper. Analyze these monsters by the end of the break, I clarified, incredulous. Each binder looked thicker than a phone book, and none of them were in any kind of order. Just sorting them would take an eternity, let alone analyzing them. Glad you see things my way, she chirped, her victory smirk widening. Seems you've been slipping on the instruction-following front lately. I couldn't bite my tongue any longer. This recent forgetfulness she spoke of? Pure fabrication. Hate to break it to you, Queen, I started, keeping my voice deceptively calm. But it's Friday, and the clock strikes freedom in 2 measly hours. Finishing these documents by next week? Mission impossible. Ever since our part-time escape artist vanished, Empress Eyebrow Furrow seemed to have adopted me as her new punching bag. Her harassment tactics were getting creative, excluding me from important emails, whispering false instructions, then blaming me for misunderstandings. And now this workload avalanche right before my long-awaited vacation. But Queen Sai Alat remained unfazed by my resistance. Need them for Monday, you say? No problem. Just swing by over the weekend and polish them off. Oh, and FYI, these are top-secret squirrel stuff, so keep them locked away at home, yeah. Hold on a sec, I interjected, but she cut me off. Important meeting, got a jet. And with that, she sashayed out, leaving me drowning in paperwork. The next day, I was supposed to be basking in the sunshine with my grandparents, not fighting yawns every 5 seconds. They eyed my weary state with concern. Honey, are you sure you're all right? Up all night prepping for this trip? Maybe we should reschedule. No worries, I'm good. I forced a smile, fueled by a newfound determination. This trip was happening, work drama or not. Sleep could wait, but creating happy memories with my grandparents wouldn't. The breathtaking view stretched before me, begging to be admired. Sharing it with my grandparents brought much-needed sunshine to their faces. This scenery is magical, isn't it? I chirped, my worries temporarily melting away. Don't worry about me. I'm ready to indulge in delicious food, unwind in the hot springs, and sink into a fluffy bed like royalty. Relief flickered across their expressions, easing the knot in my chest. Little did I know, a surprise encounter lurked around the corner, threatening to turn my idyllic getaway sour. Strolling solo inside the inn after check-in, a familiar voice jolted me back to reality. Finish that mountain of work I assigned? Quitting wasn't part of the plan, was it? It was the manager, materializing like a bad omen. Why he chose this moment, this idyllic setting, to ambush me was beyond me. Seriously, of all places? I muttered, frustration simmering beneath the surface. The manager, oblivious to my annoyance, just scoffed and disappeared, leaving me reeling. His words hung heavy in the air, a dark cloud spoiling the serenity. It dawned on me with sickening clarity. He deliberately dumped that impossible task on me, knowing it would clash with my vacation. Anger flared, hot and fierce. How did you even know about my plans? I demanded aloud, stunned by the realization. My harmless break-time chatter hadn't gone unnoticed. The thought of my words being monitored sent shivers down my spine. As I grappled with the situation, the manager reappeared, launching into a fresh tirade, criticizing both me and the inn. His insults fueled my fire, but before I could unleash it, a voice resonated with unexpected support. To my surprise, it was my grandparents, whom I presumed were enjoying tea in their room. Their presence instantly calmed me, and my grandfather swiftly stepped in, his voice firm yet composed. "I'm Angelique's grandfather," he stated, revealing his influential position in the trading company. The manager's smug facade crumbled in an instant, the realization of his blunder dawning on him. Despite my grandfather's measured tone, the manager clearly cowered. Stuttered apologies tumbled from his lips, but the damage was done. My grandfather made it clear that such unprofessional behavior was unacceptable, and he would never consider doing business with a company represented by someone like him. In the end, my grandfather's wise intervention served as a powerful reminder. Quirky managers might be unavoidable, but they should never be allowed to stunt personal growth or hinder a company's potential. The air crackled with the aftermath of the confrontation. Grandpa's words, laced with quiet power, had deflated the manager like a punctured balloon. The man spouted off about the dangers of dissent, muttering warnings about ignored pleas and whispered rumors. He even challenged the world to judge him based on a mysterious recording held by his granddaughter. With that cryptic threat, he vanished, leaving us all to simmer in the tension. Suddenly, I remembered the forgotten camera dangling around my neck, diligently capturing our blissful vacation, and, by unfortunate coincidence, this explosive scene. As the manager, desperate and defeated, clung to Grandpa like a life raft, his pleas were met with a stern refusal. Collapsing onto the ground, he whimpered for help, but something held me back from rushing to his aid. Memories of his past condescension flickered through my mind, and a strange calm washed over me. I even managed to smile, wondering if I had a latent talent for dramatic irony. Meanwhile, back in the corporate trenches, the manager's reign of terror was facing unexpected scrutiny. An executive, embodying the company's mantra of healthy living, balanced life, blasted a department-wide email condemning managers who burdened their employees with impossible workloads. The manager, used to wielding unchallenged power, stammered a rebuttal only to be silenced by a barrage of evidence, employee timesheets overflowing with late hours, and an unhealthy dedication that contradicted the company's supposedly progressive values. Confusion painted the faces of the managers as they were presented with attendance records, each a testament to their employees' overwork and devotion, a stark contrast to the work-life balance preached by the company. What sinister truth lay hidden beneath these mountains of overtime? Was there a culture of silent suffering fostered under the glossy facade of corporate wellness? Panic surged through me like a caffeine shot gone wrong. What exactly did that mountain of data even mean? I spun towards the manager, desperately seeking clarification. Turns out, the big boss had dropped a data bomb on me. organize, and analyze this behemoth by next week, even if it meant sacrificing the sanctity of holidays. Talk about mission impossible. But hey, the data gods must have been feeling generous, because just as I was about to drown in spreadsheets, a friendly executive swooped in. This was my chance. I rallied the troops, colleagues from different departments, united by their love of running and a disdain for data overload. And guess what? Teamwork makes the dream work. We slayed that data dragon within the deadline, using just the right amount of time and brain power. Speaking of running buddies, a huge shout out to the crew who saved my bacon. Even though they were strapped for time with other commitments, they pulled an all-nighter from Friday night to Saturday morning to lend a hand. My bow of gratitude was met with genuine smiles and a no worries, that's what running buddies are for attitude. True heroes, those guys. But hold your horses, there was a plot twist brewing. The manager, bless their confused soul, seemed to think I'd staged a departmental coup by involving others without permission. Cue the big boss swooping in again, this time to drop the truth bomb that they were totally cool with the collaboration. Talk about a facepalm moment for the manager. Seeing a newbie in the running group drowning in work, I couldn't just stand by. Operation Teamwork 2.0 commenced. With everyone pitching in, we conquered the workload in record time. Now about that unauthorized collaboration. Yeah, my bad. But even the big boss understood, throwing shade at the system that overworked dedicated employees. Then came the pièce de résistance, the big boss's heartwarming story about their grandchild's cooking attempts. It was an unexpected analogy, highlighting the kind of nurturing care supervisors should show their teams. This hit home with everyone, conjuring up nostalgic memories of grandparents' love and support. The room was filled with a strange mix of laughter and tears as we reminisced about our dear grandparents. The big boss's story might have been lighthearted, but it stirred something deep within us, reminding us of the unyielding love and warmth these special people bring into our lives. And suddenly, I found myself fighting back a lump in my throat, grateful for the irreplaceable bond we share with our grandparents. My grandparents' reaction to the gift stunned the crew who helped me. As I bowed my head in thanks, their kind words echoed in my mind. Worried you're causing trouble. Respect. Go live it up. Have fun. Armed with their blessing and a lighter heart, I embarked on my trip, their support warming me like the tropical sun. This company, its people, my job. I love them all. But seeing part-timers and colleagues leave, crushed by impossible demands, gnawed at me. Swallowing my nerves, I spoke up, expressing my frustration. The silence that followed was heavy then. Applause erupted. Warm, supportive applause from around me. The manager, however, wasn't clapping. Her face was a storm cloud. Before she could unleash it, the big boss stepped in. A firm hand on her shoulder, a warning glint in their eye. The president backed their decision, leaving the manager facing a demotion she couldn't refuse. The once mighty empress was dethroned. Demotion to grunt work, followed by a swift resignation, unable to stomach the new reality. The company's fair treatment, though, won applause from the outside world. News outlets praised our stance, our principles, holding them up as an example. Working with family. Awkward sometimes, sure, but it also fueled my fire. My legendary manager takedown had become company lore. Whispers following me in the hallways, good whispers, thankfully. Now, I eagerly awaited my best friend's arrival after grad school. We'd be unstoppable together. In the meantime, saving for another trip with my grandparents was in full swing. This time, no worries, just pure, joyful moments with the people who mattered most. I hope you guys enjoy our video. To watch more interesting stories, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.